The good news is that the public is aging. People are getting older and they become very interested in what they can do about aging or rejuvenation. So I've really noticed a great surge in the interest. But to popularize it is documentaries on TV, for example, but also to educate people about healthy lifestyles.
从目前来讲的话，这个人口老龄化的社会，尤其是在亚洲，包括我们中国，那么现在是非常多的这个比例的人群进入了老龄化这样一个时代。那么对于科普衰老的这样一些原理以及可能的他们的干预方式这样的一个普及呢，对于大众老龄化的这样一个健康衰老这样一个话题是非常有必要的，也是非常好一个方式。
I think it's very important, especially these days, because in the last 10 years, we have changed the way that we saw aging. When I was a medical student many years ago, the idea is that you cannot do anything about aging. It's going to happen and then eventually you will die. And now it's very clear that you can improve the quality of life for when you are an elder, and all the research that is going on is pointing that we can have not only increased longevity but also to have a healthy life till the very last moment. So I think it's very important that the general public understand that the idea is to don't make people to live forever. That's never the idea of this research, but to be healthy till the very last moment.
That's a great question. I think it's absolutely vital to popularize longevity in terms of health span, better health for the public, for at least a couple of reasons. One of them is I really feel health is the greatest wealth. It's hard to be our best if we don't feel ourselves. So it's not just about longevity, but optimal health. And when people are educated about what they can be doing to improve their health, it's empowering and it allows them to take action to have a full, robust life. The other element is I think there's a lot that people don't yet fully understand, that there's a real science of aging biology, and that if we support the science of aging biology through proper funding, through rigorous trials, and by discussing it with governments to have regulation and support, all of those interventions can lead to better health for all of us. So it's not just something for the affluent, but it's something we all can benefit from, both from the things we do individually and also from the way we advocate for more longevity research for everybody.
我觉得这非常重要的一件事情，因为现在呢做这个衰老的人是非常多的，但是衰老的理论呢也非常多。一般来讲的话呢，衰老的理论呢比做衰老研究的人还多，所以从这个意义上来讲的话呢，我们确实呢需要对公众呢有一个科普的衰老的它的这个基底是什么。这个很重要，因为要不然的话呢，有大量的不是非常真实的宣传，会影响到公众的这个想法。所以呢，就是公众更应该知道这个衰老到底是怎么一回事，它的基底是什么，怎么样进行干预才是最有效的、最真实的干预。
向公众科普衰老的这个问题的话是非常重要的。我们人人都会衰老。而且随着我们的生活水平的不断提高的话，越来越多的人也开始意识到这个衰老的问题。我们有必要向公众传达一种正确的一种抗衰的一个理念。
I think it is critical that we make the public understand how important it is to change lifestyles, so we avoid the problems that come with aging. And I think one way of popularizing is taking advantage of the youth. We should be using social media the same as social media is used for advertising everything else, to conscientize the population of what we can do in our life, how to change our lifestyle in order to avoid the problems that come with aging.
There's actually been some surveys talking about if people would be willing to take a pill, a supplement, to help them live longer. Not surprisingly, many people said yes. But when they changed the question slightly, less about helping them live longer, but helping them to have a more healthy life as they aged, far more people were willing to take a supplement. So I think popularizing anti-aging to consumers, to the public, is all about talking about the quality of your life. If we can show them that there are things they can do to improve the quality of life as they age, that's the difference. Because if you live long, but you're sick and you don't feel well, that's not great. But if all the time that you're alive, or most of the time you're alive, you're feeling great, That's the difference, and I think that's how we popularize it. We share that type of information with the public.
The question around how do we engage the public in looking after their health is one of the most paramount and important things of the 21st century. We've seen more than 100 years of ill health, and the way to treat ill health is try to find the pill that will cure it. The future has got to be about changing disease before it happens. And that's the people, the population, the individual has to be responsible for their health. How do they do it? They have to look at their own biology. They have to understand their own genetics. They have to look at the biochemistry in their body, and then they have to adapt their lifestyle to make sure that all their systems, all their body systems are working well. That starts with the gut, it goes to the brain, it goes to every organ, the liver, the kidneys, and in doing so, you'll promote wellness within your body that will then allow for you to obtain ultimately optimal health.
Well, from our perspective as an investor, it's important to create businesses that deliver sustainable value for the consumers. Therefore, it's important to first create the products that are scientifically proven to deliver the results that they promise. And then if people actually see meaningful impact on their health and well-being, I think it will drastically improve the popularity of longevity. Currently, a lot of solutions, they promise a lot of things, but you don't necessarily see the results. And if we do see the results, people will be happy to buy more.
I think it's very important to give people the right impression of what is possible and what is not possible. They should realize what the basic principles are of aging in humans and in animals, and what our real prospects are to make improvements. For example, we should make it very clear that we have lots of approaches now to increase health span, so to make older people healthier longer. But we do not really have approaches, experimental approaches, to make us significantly live longer, like 150 or so. We cannot currently do that. There's no evidence that we can really make people live significantly longer. We can only make them healthier.
Well, I think there are two aspects to it. One is, if we produce something that really works very well, people will just naturally want to use our products or medications, and the field will naturally grow. So that's one thing. And the other one is building communities from the ground up, like grassroots efforts, meetups, engaging the public. That's a lot what we do as well.
I think that the faster way is to involve principle of anti-aging to the school education, to university education, to more involve people into this sphere. And the main forum, this forum is the good example how people could conduct together and collaborate and find the new outcomes and new things that help us slow the aging.
People need to understand that they don't have to decline. So I think people, so many of them, accept it or even glorify it. They think that it's a natural process, aging is beautiful. I don't think decline is beautiful. I think decline is avoidable. It's a travesty if you know it's avoidable and you're still letting it happen. So that's what I think. I think people just need to understand that it's not an inevitability, right? So there's a possibility that we can slow down the aging, or even reversing aging, or even keeping you at a young state, maybe forever.
我觉得还是很重要的，因为现在产品也非常多，而且如果你要不知道你的基础的问题是什么，你可能补的就越补越坏。中医的话也会告诉你有各种各样的你的症状。当然，现在的科技呢，可能会有更多的方式来去检测，比如说你到底是哪个方面有衰老了，不同的组织、不同的这个器官的衰老，可能你要做一些针对的规划，针对性的做科学抗衰。
I think it's a very important step toward intervention discovery and also the future use in a clinical setting. Because in the first place, a lot of people are not aware that aging could be potentially delayed or even reversed in the future. For example, in the context of ovarian aging, a lot of women are aware that they will undergo menopause, and which will cause a lot of problems like cardiovascular diseases or osteoporosis risks. They're aware of that, but they are not aware that this could be potentially delayed, or the reproductive functions could be preserved using anti-aging interventions. So we need to raise that awareness in the public first before we kind of promote the interventions to be spread to wider use, instead of restricting this area of research to scientists or potentially those who are interested in the field, so that more people be aware of this ongoing topic, and more, of course, resources, investment, and public interest come into the field, so that we can do more things about it and move the field forward.
对于这个问题的话呢，我觉得它很有必要啊，也是很基础的一个话题。因为首先从我们科普者的角度来讲的话呢，可能科普这些内容的话，确实是挺基础的但是对于消费者和我们老百姓而言的话呢，它可以更清楚这个背后的原因所以我觉得的话呢，它是一个非常重要的事情。
So, like anything new, the best way to get people to buy into it is to have other people that they trust to buy into it first. So I think that's where celebrities can be very important, and that's why I like working with a lot of them. But then, of course, the academic scientist component of it is also important, meaning showing the actual data to show that these interventions can actually slow down and reverse aging. I think for a lot of people, they understand that they want to have a good quality of life as they get older, and they probably know someone who's been affected with a chronic disease. And remember, almost all chronic diseases are age-related, such as cancer, neurodegeneration, heart disease. So you probably know someone who's been affected with one of those. And if we can slow down the aging process, it can help either you or someone you love. So I think when people appreciate it as something that can help someone that they care about, then that's when they'll buy into it and get more interested.
I think it's very important because like fundamentally, all the scientists, they got the funding majority from government and eventually it's from taxpayer, which is public. So public need to understand the importance of this kind of research and what are those and what are scientists doing, and it will help them understand how this field progress.
In order to get this information to the public, I think the most important sector of the public to get this to is the aging population, which is those people over the age of 60. As we develop this technology, the younger people are going to benefit from it, and they don't need to know about it right now, but the people over the age of 60 really need to know about it. So when you think about what those people are listening to, they're still listening to the regular news. And so if we need to get to the regular news channels to start promoting this, so that those people can be educated on what they can do to decrease their chance of becoming decrepit and increase their chances of living a longer, healthier life.
Popularizing aging principles to the public is a key aspect of promote longevity, because a big part of longevity is also understanding what are the principles and what are the factors that can help aging well and aging better. And where do we start? We start from the principles. So educating the general people about longevity is the first step to really advance our understanding and applying it.
I think it's really important that we educate people as much as possible about early interventions to ensure a long and healthy life. And so, for instance, people think that they're fine in their 20s and 30s, but as I mentioned in my talk, there's actually muscle function going down, ATP production going down, and also cognitive decline. So cognitive flexibility and reaction time start to decrease by age 30. So people need to do something at that point and keep doing a healthy lifestyle and using all the kind of interventions they can to maintain their life.
I see popularizing aging to the public and democratizing interventions and diagnostics for aging with tools, technological tools that enable to simplify and lower the cost of these different interventions and different diagnostics. For For example, we have been successful at taking a very simple photo approach that predicts inflammatory aging. This is inflammation in the body from a facial photo. It's a 2D photo. We call that the healthy selfie. And so with technologies like that, we're planning to democratize the diagnostics of aging and hopefully bring as well interventions that can lower the cost to improve the lives of hopefully billions in this world.
我觉得公众特别需要被 educated， 我觉得因为现在这个衰老已经变成了一个社会的一个问题，然后特别是这次新冠疫情以后，很多人就是对自身的健康有一个非常就是比以前的认知的需求是高很多了，但是可能他们自己去搜寻这些信息的话也很辛苦，所以如果有一个平台可以给大家就是介绍，就是把那些 pre-process 的这些信息能够传导给大家，我觉得是一件非常好的事情。
向公众科普衰老的原理非常重要。第一个，中国已经进入了老龄化社会，所以以我们国家这么人口的一个基数，老龄的人口是特别的多的，所以这么庞大的一个老年人群体，它应该是对衰老的这个机制啊，老年健康的各个方面应该是有一个了解。第二方面呢，其实衰老并不可怕，衰老它是一个自然的一个过程，一定要引导我们社会大众，特别是老年人群体，把衰老和疾病给分开。其实我们这个人的这个死亡基本上都是因为疾病啊。那么如果是自然的衰老的话，就是我们平时所谓的无疾而终，实际上是一个在中国传统文化里面是一个非常幸福的一个高兴的一个事情。那第三一点呢，就是通过对衰老的这些机制的这个科普宣传让人们对这个衰老和抗衰老有一个正确的一个认知，避免被一些不良的商家去误导。那历史以来，像从秦始皇开始就追求长生不老，那首先这个长生不老就不现实的就现在目前有这个有据可查的人类可以活得最长的年龄也就是在125周岁。根据这个前年的一篇 Nature 的文章的这个预测，人类的预期的寿命最长平均大概是在115左右。所以像中国的这个一些报道里面，一些媒体里面讲到某一个地方有这个150岁的，有200岁、300岁的这都是一时不实的一些宣传。有一些不良商家呢，就利用这个老年人对自己健康、对长寿的这个追求会有一些这个不实的一些宣传误导。所以这一块来讲的话，我们就是正确的、科学的去宣传衰老的原理，那有助于我们老年人呢，这个有个正确的认知避免被这个误导